Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this one we'll be talking about active and passive buzzers. For this video you will need one passive buzzer, one active buzzer, one breadboard of any size, obviously if it's much smaller than this it'll still work just fine, one Arduino, one button, two Arduino breadboard temper cables, and last but not least, one barrel connector power cable. Either battery or wall outlet is fine. With that, let's get started. Now, let's talk about the difference between a active buzzer and a passive buzzer. Now first thing first, it's very easy to identify which one is which. If you flip them over, you'll see that one of them has a clear plastic top, while the other one appears to have a circuit board style connector in it. The circuit board one is a passive buzzer, and the black plastic one in the back is a active buzzer. With that in mind, now let's talk about the difference. Now, a active buzzer has a built-in buzzing system. So all you need is a DC current and it'll buzz. It's very difficult. You can't really adjust what pitch it's at, but it's much simpler than the passive buzzer. All you do is power it and it'll buzz. The passive buzzer, on the other hand, is a bit more versatile, but also more difficult to use. A passive buzzer needs an AC current, and as you change the current, you can manipulate what tone you get out of the passive buzzer. So it's a bit more difficult to use, but in exchange, it's a bit more powerful and you can get a bit more tone out of it than the active buzzer. Now, let's construct our active buzzer circuit. The first thing we're going to do is get our breadboard and get a button. Now, let's head over to the 5 on the breadboard and just stick our button right in there. Boom, just like that. Now let's go ahead and get our buzzer. If you look at the buzzer, you see that is a positive plus side. So we'll go ahead and plug the positive side into the positive rail, just like that. As you can see, the positive side is in the red positive rail. The other side lines up perfectly with our button. Next, let's get our first wire and plug it into our rail, just like that. Let's get our second wire and plug it in to the other side of the button, just like that. So as you can kind of see, we now have our one wire, the button, our buzzer, and then the other wire, right, just like that. Now let's get our Arduino and plug this in. First thing first, let's get our red power wire, plug that into the 5-volt slot, or the 3.3 volt if you don't have a 5-volt slot, either one works. Take our green wire and plug it into the ground slot, just like that. And believe it or not, our circuit is now done. If we go ahead and plug in our Arduino, just like that with our good old bullet cable, say barrel cable, this is the button, and as you can see, it instantly starts buzzing. Really simple circuit, and that's all there is to it. Now, let's assemble our passive buzzer. So just like the previous one, you can kind of see that there's a plus on this one, and as you probably suspected, the plus side is the positive side. So now let's go ahead and take our breadboard, and we can attach our buzzer on just like that. As you can see, one metal pin on each side. Let's go ahead and push that in, just like that. Now, let's take our first wire and plug it in to the one side, the positive side this time. Make sure it's in the right slot, just like that. And now, take the other wire that we have and plug it on the opposite side. So you can kind of see the middle piece there, so just go ahead and plug this one in on the opposite side, just like that. So as you can see, buzzer, positive wire, ground wire, just like that. Now, let's get our Arduino and plug these in. First thing first, the second wire we just placed will go in the ground slot. Once again, as you can see, the ground slot. And now our other wire will be going, this time not in the 5 volt, but in pin number 13. as you can see, pin number 13. Right there. And believe it or not, that's the circuit all done. So before we turn this on, let's take a break and look at the programming here. So as you can see, I already have the interface open. And most of this is pretty standard. There's only one new piece of code, and that is a tone command. So the tone command has 3 parameters, or 2, depending how you want to use it. The first one is the pin number. So obviously this time we're on pin 13. The second number is the tone value, how high or how low you want it to be. And the third number is optional. It's how long you want the tone to sound for. So as you can see in my first line, I'm playing a tone on pin 13. I want the pitch to be 200. I want it to last for 500 seconds, say 500 milliseconds. Then, later, 2 lines down, you can see that another tone. This time I'm omitting the last parameter. What this will do is, this will repeatedly play a tone at 400 pitch on pin 13 until I run the no tone command. And if I plug this in with my battery, you can see that's just the case. Our command is now alternating pitches through our buzzer. Once again, if we go back to the program, you can see that the lower pitch is the first line, and the higher pitch is the line 2 lines underneath it at line 11. So, go ahead and unplug that now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, if you enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe or comment down in the description below.